Welcome back to Chicago Couch Scouts. Today we have a very special episode. It's going to be an MLB mock draft. We're going to go through the whole first round and do a combined mock. We're going to give both some feedback on what we think each team will do in the first round. And yeah, so draft starts on Sunday, first three rounds. Very odd formatting, in my opinion, but
July
very excited.
draft, right
Yeah.
around day one. Like they're just killing it, trying to make this thing a
uh,
spectacle. When the only
yeah,
people watching it are fucking absolute nerds like us and like whoever's watching this podcast. So
exactly.
like
It's like,
it's not the NBA draft. Just make it convenient for the GMs and the coaches and the
I
players.
know.
Like it's just crazy.
It would make so much more sense if it was in June. I don't understand why they went away from that. But they're trying to make All-Star
I
Week like
saw an
the
article
whole.
today, like college coaches complaining because the transfer portal like ends before the draft. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like
weird.
those kids are transferring and then they're gonna get drafted and not even go to the college. Like it's just been a bad situation for everyone.
But like comparing it to the NBA, like Cedric Coward, like transferring to Duke and then staying in the draft and then just like not ending up. It's weird. The whole NIL transfer portal is weird, but yeah, MLB draft being in July, definitely bad decision. They're trying to make All-Star Week and weekend this whole big thing, but ah, just doesn't make sense to me.
I just have the All Star game in Chicago before you change it and then put it back in June.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, but we can kind of jump right in. First pick is going to be interesting considering their GM was just fired this week. Mike Rizzo. See you later, bud. So Cade Anderson is the betting favorite to go one here. We both kind of talked about it. You're in the mindset that this pick is a lot more open, and Anderson or Holiday might not be the pick. I'm
Yeah,
personally thinking
I
it's
think it's
Anderson.
I think it's wide open, but like for the sake of this, like we have to come to a consensus, and it seems like Anderson's the most likely option. So I'm good with that for now. I think he could give him a good deal. Um, it could be Holiday, but it seems like they're kind of leveraging to go to Colorado. Baltimore has so much money to play with. That would be so cool if they like floated them all the way to 19, but
That'd
that's
be insane.
not really realistic. But that'd be one of the crazier draft day
uh,
things that ever happen.
for sure.
But yeah, we're gonna go Anderson here. I'm pretty sure because it's kind of on me to decide because it's you said you want him. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I don't personally think he's the best pitcher in the draft.
I agree. I would
I
go with
think
Arnold or Hernandez over him.
yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think both those arms are better. I think Hernandez is probably my favorite arm. Even though he is an older high school player. He's already 19. Um, but yeah, I think Anderson seems like the consensus as of right now. His odds keep going down, so they're up, however you want to look at it. But yeah, I think we're gonna go the Nationals selecting Cade Anderson, who is a Scott Boras client, and Boras and Rizzo very good friends, so that could get interesting with cutting a deal. Moving on, we got the Angels at two.
Yeah, so I think like one, two, and four are kind of connected, is what we're hearing from all the people that are kind of tapped in and hearing stuff from teams and stuff like that. So I think like with Anderson going one, that kind of just guarantees that the Angels will go with Liam Doyle here at two,
Mm,
um, and Holiday going four as well. But yeah, that's what I would go with pretty automatically is Liam Doyle too if Anderson
yeah,
goes.
I'm in the same boat. I personally don't think it should be. I mean, like we just said, I think Arnold should be the pick here. I do think it would be Doyle. Um, a big arm. Obviously, they have like Ben Joyce from Tennessee, who's another big arm. Thing with Doyle is definitely has some reliever concern there. Obviously, haven't seen him. Maybe he's like a crochet in that situation, like starts
Yeah.
in the bullpen, but that's definitely scary, especially if you're taking him two overall with the reliever concern.
Yeah, it's the Angels. They're gonna do their own thing. I don't think anybody else like I think the highest you could see Doyle going otherwise is like Colorado at four, but he has a pretty wide range.
Mm,
But he's just been heavily linked to the Angels, who apparently also like Anderson is what everybody's saying, but
yeah, I've seen that as well.
he's going one here. So I think Doyle's pretty locked in. The more interesting one is Seattle here at 3, I think.
Hmm.
I think you think it's going to be Hernandez. I'm not
Hmm.
really sure. Um,
I
I
just think
lean
the fit makes sense with Hernandez.
I lean towards Ivar Arquette here, but I think like for the sake of consensus again, like I'm okay with Hernandez going because this isn't one that I'm like super sure about.
Yeah, I mean Arquette. Last time I checked, he was the betting favorite. I can take another quick look at it. Hernandez's odds did come down a little bit. I actually took him at plus 700 to go three here. Last time I checked, he was like plus 250. But as of right now, Arquette is plus 165. Hernandez is plus 300. So I'm cool with either one. Like I said, like I think Hernandez is a fit. Like I feel like they have a pitching factory over there that he would mold pretty nicely as time goes on. But I do see the Arquette fit as well. Like they could use a shortstop. I don't think J.P. Crawford's all that great, and I think Arquette could be on their major league roster next year. So if you want to go Arquette, I'm cool with that too.
Let's go.
He's like their second coming of A Rod. We could think of it like
Let's
that.
go. Let's go Hernandez. Seattle has a lot of money, and I think the hitters down the board are better than the pitchers down the board. So let's assume that they agree and they go with one of the highest upside pitchers early and spend their money down the board to get some bats.
I'm good with it. Four Colorado. I think we can
Yeah,
kind
really
of go
cool
through this quick.
scenario.
Yeah,
Uh, Ethan Holiday going to his dad's old team. A lot of talk about them potentially doing an overslot deal, like as high as like 9.5 million. That would be kind of crazy. Colorado's kind of known to do that though. They pay their guys like the full slot or more. Charlie Condon got the record bonus last year at pick 3.
three. Yeah,
So yeah, I think this is pretty clear cut. Pending Anderson going 1, it would be Holiday at 4.
yeah. I'm in the same boat. I think it's pretty clear cut here. Like you said, cool situation with Matt Holliday obviously being on the Rockies for a number of years, putting together some very good seasons. I think the bat will only
Bring him to the early
thrive.
World Series.
Yeah,
Hopefully his son can do the same.
the bat's gonna thrive here in Colorado, though.
Yeah.
Excited to see that pop in Colorado. That would be cool. Um, But yeah, I think one, two, and four are pretty set in stone. I do think it's gonna go Anderson, Doyle, then Holiday at four. It's just three is that mystery, and then obviously from here on out, this is where it's probably gonna get crazy. I think you're gonna see some guys down the board come off for underslot deals, but here at five with St. Louis, I'm in the mindset that Eli Willits is going here. I could see JoJo Parker as well. I do think this is going to be a prep player though. I think I'm leaning Willits. I was watching some video on him earlier today. I like the swing. Obviously, a better from the left side, but switch hitter at 17 years old. Very nice, very athletic, very nice line drive swing. So I do think it's Willits here.
Yeah, the Cardinals one's tough. Like I don't ever really remember them picking this high in a draft since
Mm,
I've been watching. I think it's Willits or Jamie Arnold here probably, like with the way the board's gone. But I'm okay with Willits, so we could go with that. I think it's a good pick, one of the better prep shortstops in the class. I guess I'm a little lower on him than some others. But I'm still like he is still my fifth ranked player. He goes fifth overall here, the Cardinals. I think it's a great pick. It's been rumored in real life, so we're gonna go with it in our mock.
yeah, makes sense in my mind. Obviously they took JJ Weatherhold last year. You can never have too many guys that have up the middle profiles. So, and Weatherhold's looking like a steal. Would they get him at 12 or something like that? So,
It was like
playing. Oh yeah, no, it was seven. It was like right after the Sox. You're right. I guess they have been picking this high then. Um, I think
yeah.
this was some lottery luck though. I feel like they jumped up. If I remember correctly. But yeah. St. Louis goes with a shortstop in back-to-back years in the first round in this mock. Going to Pittsburgh. Um, in my head, I'm thinking bat, but I do see Jamie Arnold still on the board, and I think like a rotation of Arnold, Skeens, and Chandler would be pretty sick. Um, but I feel
I
like they have
think
bigger needs.
I think this one, like if Ivar Arquette gets to 6, I think Pittsburgh's the team that would take him.
Yeah, I can see that.
It seems like shortstop for them. They could take a pitcher just because they're so good at developing them. Uh, the one I'd see them taking is Seth Hernandez if he got down here. I don't really see it with Arnold. They have had some success with lefties. Like Hunter Barco's a really good prospect now. But it's mostly been like power right-handed pitching for them. So I think Hernandez would be the better fit. But he doesn't make it here. Um, but Arquette does. So I think that's what I would want to go with.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could use some bats. I do think like they would be tempted to take one of the college pitchers still on the board, whether it's Witherspoon or Arnold. But I think their need for bats trumps any sort of pitching depth they might think they need. But yeah, I think we're both big fans of Ivar Kid here. Great bat. I think he projects really well at shortstop. He's a lengthy dude, very athletic. I think he's gonna stick at short, so I like the pick there for Pittsburgh. Was hoping there's some shot that he slips the 10, but don't see it really happening. Um, but yeah, so I think we're kind of in lockstep here for the through the first six picks. But seven, Miami. This one I would imagine a bat.
Yeah, I think
Um,
this one probably Billy Carlson, JoJo Parker.
yeah.
Uh, Gavin Feen's been someone who I've like personally had a hunch for Miami liking, but haven't heard much about it.
Hmm.
They went with Morlando last year, who was like the number one prep coming in, had a little rough spring. Same. I mean, Gavin Feen wasn't ranked one, but he was like more up there at the start of the year. Had a rough
Yeah.
spring, but I feel like they'd be a team to bet on the tools. But I think Billy Carlson would make the most sense here with their new GM coming from Tampa. There's just upside to dream on with the glove. I would compare him to somebody like Carson Williams, a little bit different profile at the plate, but like that glove first, like hoping that it's an above average bat kind of thing. So I think that makes sense here at 7.
Yeah, I was watching some of Carlson earlier today. I mean, I know there are some swing concerns, but honestly, watching it over again, it didn't seem that bad. I feel like it's more like a downward angle, so he might be obviously relying on his speed more, getting the ball on the ground rather than the power's like the power can be developed like we talked about before. Like that's one thing like you look at particularly like you can develop power as long as the bat's there. I think the bat can be there. It's just gonna take some time to develop, to get a more line drive swing going rather than I feel like it's such a downward action, but I do like the pick there for Miami. Um, they just need talent on their roster, I feel like, and
Yeah,
obviously
personally,
Carlson. Yeah,
I'm low on Carlson as a hitter. I think Miami would be a team to dream on the upside, and it's been rumored. So
yeah. All right, Toronto at 8. I think this is a JoJo Parker spot. I could see potential pitcher here. I just don't think there's anyone worth taking. I think Witherspoon's fine. Oh wait, we still have Arnold on the board, right?
yeah, Arnold's on the board. I think
Mm,
it's between Parker and Arnold here.
yeah. I think it's probably gonna be Arnold or Parker, sorry. That would be my guess. I think they would lean because they have, let's see, they have Namala or whatever his name is, who's progressing fine, but
I think I'd go Arnold here. I think like it's good value at 8, and they're kind of leaning into pitching last year. They have Yesevich and Cal Stefan who
mm,
were draft picks last year. I think they're building that side up nice. They have some upside with Namala. Um, and yeah, I think it's good value. They have been linked to Parker as well, but yeah, I think Arnold here.
okay. I'm cool with that. I'm cool deferring there. I think it makes sense. I feel like they always are in need of pitching. Like when they've been on the verge of being good, I feel like the bats have always been there, but they've been lacking pitching depth. And I'm not against building up the farm with more pitching, especially arguably the best pitcher in the class. So, yeah, so Toronto goes Arnold at 8 in this mock, Cincinnati at 9. I feel like we're going too chalky, like based off the consensus boards. I feel like someone's gonna have to come from a little further
Yeah,
down the
like
board.
I think like it could be Parker here. It could be Uh,
Irish maybe.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is this where the Ike Irish underslot comes in play?
Like I'm trying to think what
I want to like
position
force.
wise
I don't want to like force Parker to the White Sox, but like that's what we're gonna do. So I think like
Irish.
yeah, Irish makes the most sense. Like,
What about like what about Summerhill here? Does that make sense?
I don't think this high. Probably not. Hasn't really
No.
been rumored at all.
All right.
Yeah, I think Irish.
Killing maybe. Yeah. All right. I'll go. I'm cool with Irish. Yeah.
Force Parker to the White Sox. Yeah, the homer
Yeah.
take.
Yeah. So we got Irish going 9 to Cincinnati. I think he's probably gonna play corner outfield when he gets to the major leagues. I don't think he's probably gonna stick a catcher.
Yeah, I don't think he'll
Personally.
catch at all. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked if they announced him as an outfielder on Sunday.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Probably not gonna go with a shortstop. Obviously, you have Ellie at short. Um, I was thinking Fiend because I feel, or Killen, I mean, sorry, because I feel like he's got that second base profile. So like, I feel like that would make sense. But I'm cool with Irish going here at 9. And then obviously we're in a consensus here. JoJo Parker at 10 to the White Sox. It's the hopeful scenario here, but not expecting it. I think he's gonna go before.
No Josh Block meme if this happens.
That would be
Oh,
very exciting. I think if I do think if Parker is the eventual pick at 10, I think it means they were able to drag him down a little bit by cutting a deal to like guarantee them taking his brother as well, maybe in like the third round.
yeah, that's been something that's been talked about. The White Sox seem like a team to do that. Mike Shirley kind of has an obsession with like this like baseball family thing. Drafts all these guys that have like brothers that play for other teams and shit. Like if you dig, like it's kind of ridiculous. And he's like talked about it before too. So
Then Nick
I would not be
McLean.
surprised. If they take Tyson Witherspoon, they're gonna draft his brother. Like Mike Shirley, he's gonna come out of this draft with a pair of fucking brothers. Like
Yeah.
there's no
Um,
there's no doubt.
yeah, I'd be like in the scenario Parker's not here, like Steele Hall has been heavily rumored. I think Kason Cunningham more recently has been kind of linked to the Sox at 10, but definitely a spot where we think prep shortstop is going to be the pick in some way or another.
I think Oakland's
Uh
pretty interesting at 11. A lot of college players rumored. Tyler
yeah,
Bremner, Gavin Keelan. I've seen some Summerhill as well. Um,
I'm cool
I
with
think,
Bremner.
yeah, I think Bremner makes sense. Oakland needs pitching. I'm kind of lower on Witherspoon personally, so having him
Yeah,
slip a
me
little
too.
here kind of makes sense. And
Yeah,
yeah,
Bremner.
figured Oakland has some legs from the people with sources that I follow on Twitter and stuff like that. So
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense. I think in our original mock, like, I think he's one of the bigger risers from what we originally did maybe a month ago, a few weeks
yeah, I
ago.
don't think he was in our like team fits thing. Um,
Yeah, I mentioned him. I forgot who too, but obviously the changeup, like people are saying, it's one of the best pitches in the draft. The slider needs work. Got hit around a little bit, but the changeup is special. The fastball is pretty solid. He's a solid pitcher. I think his range is probably in this like 11 to like 17 area, but I think he's gonna go higher than we expect on Sunday. But yeah, I guess Sacramento. The A's need pitching. Uh, bad. I feel like because they have like a special set of young bats. I feel like if they just build up
yeah,
their
they
pitching
have a
depth,
pretty like full, like almost complete controllable lineup. So
yeah,
I think
yeah,
leaning into the pitching at this point would be smart.
yeah. I think it makes sense. 12 here, Texas. I think Case and Cunningham makes a lot of sense, especially being from Texas. Um,
Yeah, I have Case and Cunningham and Witherspoon on my mind here. Um, I think
I would lean Cunningham. I think personally, I think it makes sense.
yeah,
I
we
know
can
we're.
go with that. They've taken a lot of pitchers in the past, so
Mhm. They have a lot. They have some solid young pitchers. But yeah, I think Cunningham. I think me and you are big fans of him. You've kind of given him the McGonagall. comp with less power, but the bat to ball skills are impressive to say the least. He's probably the best pure hitter in the draft, in my opinion, at least on the prep side. But I really like the fit here. Obviously, Corey Seager's getting older. They do have Walcott in their system already, but like I said, can never have too many guys that profile as up the middle guys. And I think could see him even playing center. Could definitely slide over to second. So the bat is going to play, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick for Texas. Keep him in state. I'm really high on Cunningham. He's fourth on my board overall, I think. So I really like it for them.
Hmm.
A little higher than I think he might go, but I'm happy to be like the high mock on Jason Cunningham. I mean, I've seen some of him go to the White Sox too, so maybe he's got some helium here at the end.
Hmm. 13, San Francisco. Um, Kind of just looking at the board, some of the consensus rankings. Um, I don't mind Aloy here. I feel like he sticks out. Obviously, he was the Golden Spike winner this year. Kind of does it all at shortstop. Obviously, he had that mental error that cost them that game against LSU. But very good player. I could see him going here. I could also see maybe a Witherspoon here. Well, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I'm probably a little higher on Aloy than consensus, I guess.
Mhm.
I'd prefer him to Merrick Houston.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Think he's just better at everything, and they're about the same level of glove. Um, I like that pick here. I think it would come down to him and Witherspoon probably. Um, and I kind of like the landing spot that I think we're gonna do for Witherspoon if he makes it past this pick because it's kind
Mhm.
of consistent with history. So yeah, I'm good with Aloy here. I think that's a fun one for San Francisco. Yeah, Steel Hall to the Rays has a lot of rumors around it right now. Seems like a
Yeah.
Rays type of pick, a lot of upside, a lot of speed, which the Rays
Mhm.
prioritize quite a bit.
Yeah. Very
Um,
athletic. There's rumors they already cut a deal, so we'll see if that eventually plays out. But like you said, very Rays pick, playing the upside,
yeah, for sure.
athletic shortstop. But is he the youngest player in the draft, or is it
I think he's
Will?
17 on the day of the
Yeah,
draft,
he
possible.
reclassed. So let's see, Steel Hall. I have it right here. Steel Hall is he turns 18. No, yeah, 18 on July 24th. So very interesting player. Him and let's see, is Willits younger? Willits is younger by 5 months. Huh. Okay. I thought it was the other way around, honestly, but yeah, two 17-year-olds in this draft, pretty crazy. But yeah, let's move on. Boston at 15.
I think this
Uh,
one, Witherspoon.
yeah,
Austin has kind of made a killing taking the college faller the last 2 years.
yeah.
Turned
Montgomery
they
last year,
turned him
yeah.
into fucking Garrett Crochet, literally. Kyle
Yeah.
Teel was supposed to go top 7, and he goes 14 to the Red Sox. Braden Montgomery is supposed to go potentially top 5, if not top 8, and he ends up at 12 to the Red Sox. So
Hmm.
same kind of
Yeah.
thing with Witherspoon here, and with the new focus on pitching with Breslow, and I think this is just a home run for the Red Sox. This is like everything they want in a first round pick recently.
Yeah, I think especially if they're looking to be sellers, like a lot of the rumors are indicating, like selling off like Giolito and some of the guys in their rotation. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think Witherspoon could be a guy who moves quickly in the right situation. And like you said, their focus on pitching in Boston could make a lot of sense for him to move quickly and be on the major league roster soon. But we're going Minnesota here, 16. This one's tough.
Yeah.
I could see this being like a Gavin Fiend. Um,
I mean, Jace Laviolette he's minus odds to go under 19 and a half, I think it is. And
Interesting. We're
Minnesota's
getting
kind
to
of the
that point.
team here that like jumps out to me besides Baltimore, of course, like at
Hmm.
19.
I
So
think
I mean, I would
Arizona
be
makes.
interested in making that pick here.
Okay, I'm cool with that. That works for me. Um, yeah, I mean the bat has some questions to it, but if it's able to develop correctly, he's going to be a very solid player. He's got a lot of pop in the bat. I think it makes sense for Minnesota, especially being a lefty in that ballpark. That is a nice perk to have. So Laviolette going there at what pick was that? 16. So we got the
Yeah.
Cubs at 17, which I think could go a number of ways. I think they could go pitching. I think Bremner is a guy to look at here if he falls. Um, Aloy, I think, makes a lot of sense here if he falls, but I don't mind Gage Wood here.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Obvious.
thinking too. I'm thinking college
Okay.
pitcher and Gage Wood jumps out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, big riser. Obviously, he had that
A lot of
fan-
helium.
fantastic performance in the college World Series semifinal, I believe, or quarterfinal.
Mhm. Yeah.
Through the no hitter. But yeah, big riser late in the draft season. But yeah, I think Cubs go focus on pitching, and I think Bremner is their guy if I had to guess. But Gage Wood is definitely not a bad consolation prize. Big fastball. Gage Wood goes there to the Cubs, kicking it off to 18 to Arizona.
Yeah, heavily rumored pick here. I think this is going to be the first like true catcher off the board. Caden Bodine. I really like him. He's way higher on my board personally. Switch hitter, good glove, good hit tool. I think he works the lower half really well. Like, I think he'll hit for more power than people expect. That's why I'm kind of higher on him. And yeah, Bodine and Slater DeBruin have been heavily linked to Arizona. If we were going into the comp round, we'd probably have that pick, but we're gonna stop at Cleveland here.
Yeah, like Bodine here. Kind of saw you mention it that he has general potential to be like a top three catcher just because he's good on
Yeah,
both sides,
yeah. I mean,
defensively
it's
and
like
offensively.
good approach, good defense. I mean, I guess like key to all of this is like I see more power than most people, so like that's probably gonna have to happen for that projection to come true. But I really see it. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, obviously Gabriel Moreno hasn't really worked out there, so they're
Yeah,
in
he's been
need of
alright, but not the
yeah,
top 10 prospect in ball. Um,
exactly. So makes sense to move on or not move on, but find a different option to
Invest in the
catch there.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Um
this is a guy that should probably be going like in the top 10-ish picks. So I think this is great value for Arizona here.
yeah, I like the pick. I agree with it. Kind of before we decided to record this, we were both in agreement that this would probably be the pick here. But yeah, so hold up. All right, going to Baltimore here at 19. I could see this going a majority, like a lot of different ways. Obviously, they just traded for that comp round pick, so their bonus pool is very big. Earlier, we mentioned the possibility of even floating Ethan Holiday down here, which would be very interesting. But
Yeah, there's been no buzz. It's just like a cool idea.
yeah,
Like, that would probably be the coolest thing to ever happen on draft day if it did happen. But, I mean, something like this hasn't happened since 1990, I think it was, when there was like a top player that got floated past 10 and got like a
mm,
record bonus. And that's what it would take. Like they'd have to pay him 9.5 plus to make this happen. Baltimore can afford it. It's just like coming up with the savings and like 18 teams calling the bluff is just hard to make happen, I feel like. So they're probably not even really considering it.
mm,
But here, I think Baltimore kind of has a type. It's like white boy outfielders with pop. So I think Xavier Nyans here kind of makes the most sense. Another guy I think should be going way higher. Um, Feels like their type for sure. They've been linked to him and Fauski a lot. Andrew Fisher as well. Kind of learn him to the comp round, which would be interesting. Another guy that's way higher on my board personally. All three of those guys I just mentioned actually.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think Nyans here makes the most sense.
yeah, I'm
He,
cool with that. I was personally thinking Fisher. I feel like they might start it with a college bat to maybe underslot a deal and drag a few preps down the board. But I'm cool taking nines here. I think it makes sense, like you said, kind of fits their type.
Yeah, I think what you're saying makes sense. It's just like kind of like we're gonna have to see what plays out on draft day. I just think that Nines has more landing spots in between them and 28, which is their next pick, I think. Because I can see Nines going Detroit, San Diego, Philadelphia, probably not any of the other teams, but Milwaukee too. Milwaukee, I mean, they're one of the best in the business, so I'm sure they're high on him. But yeah, I think it makes sense here at 19.
Makes sense to me. I'm cool with it. Like you said, it fits their type, like blonde, long hair, white boys. So I'm cool with it. Going to Milwaukee here, I think this is something you have a
Yeah,
very strong opinion on. So I'll
I
let you
have like
take the.
I have like what I call a pound the table forward player every draft. It was McGonigal and then it was Kurtz. This year it's Fauski. I think he's gonna go way higher than like the projections. I mean, people have started to come around. Like I saw him at 14 to Tampa in a recent mock draft. So I think like the writing's on the wall for him to go higher somewhere. And I
Yeah,
think Milwaukee drafted his high school teammate last year, in the I think their 15th round. He didn't
oh
sign. He
damn.
went to Indiana, but like they've been out. They've seen this kid. He's third on my board. I put out the final one today, and he moved up a little bit. So I think this is a fantastic pick. I think Milwaukee's like just the organization that would do this. Like they call their shot all the time, and they're usually right. So I have them agreeing with me here and going with Fauci at 20.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of put me on the Fauski. He's right in our backyard. Obviously, goes to Nazareth, which is like 10 minutes from me, 20 minutes from you. So, very familiar with the program. Just put together some very talented baseball players in the past. So, I like the pick here. He's definitely a guy that's, because of you, has come upon my radar more. So, I'm cool with the pick here. Makes sense. They're a smart organization. They're going to find the talent and develop it. You've given them the it was you had McGonigal as like your pound your table guy a few years ago. Now it's Fauski's. Have an eye for talent. I like the pick here. Houston at 21 though could get interesting.
All right, Houston at 21. We kind of dragged Gavin Keelan a little too far here. So I think this kind of has to be the landing spot. It makes sense with Houston kind of taking college players all the time as they fall to them. He's high on my board. He's higher than 21 for sure. I think he'll go higher than this on draft day, but just working it out here, he ends up at 21, and it's a good value pick for Houston, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it kind of fits what they need. I think obviously they need bats. They have some young pitchers in their system, but I think he fits their organizational type. So I like the pick. We'll slide in at second very quickly, I think. Obviously, Jeremy Pena's having a resurgence here, so that's a nice little perk to have for Houston. Yeah, I like the pick there too.
The Braves at 22 is interesting. They've went pitcher like 5 years in a row in the
Hmm.
first round now.
A lot of prep pitching, but I
I think
personally
it's
think this.
time for a bat here.
Yeah, I'm leaning college bat. I think up the middle profile. I think Merrick Houston makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like ever since Dansby's been gone, they're in need of some sort of defense at shortstop. Obviously, they had that like random Orlando Arcia year that he was an all star. That was you talked about on our TikTok. But yeah, I think Merrick Houston makes a lot of sense here. His gloves kind of iffy. The bat's pretty good, but I think he'll play at shortstop. I think he'll make the transition seamlessly, but up the middle profile is what I think here. College bat.
Yeah, I think it has to be a bat at some point for Atlanta. I'm lower on Houston. I think he's got a decent hit tool and a good glove. I think the power is really fake. Not a lot of success in the summer leagues with the wood bat. He's only showed power really even with metal this year, so I'm kind of fading the breakout in a sense there. But I think it's a worthy pick for them at 22 here.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Kansas City, kind of sticking with like the left-handed hitter theme. I think it's Brendan Summerhill here, kind of falling a little bit further than expected, but makes sense in a system that like really needs bats bad. They have two catchers at the top, and then that's kind of it with Cags about to graduate. Uh, so yeah, I think just adding a nice left-handed hitting outfielder to the mix would make a lot of sense for them.
Yeah, I think it's a nice landing spot for Summerhill. I feel like they maybe could use some pitching as well, but I do like the decision to go bat here. I don't think like the roster itself, I feel like is very mid. I feel like I don't know how they're able to win some of these games. Like I feel like they're teetering on
I was
500.
saying that they were going to regress since last year, and they have.
Yeah,
Now they
yeah,
like survive by winning close games. They're a
yeah.
worse offense than the White Sox this year, if you didn't know that.
Wow, I did
Yeah,
not. Well,
they've
Bob, I
sunk.
know Bobby Witt's like kind of been okay, nothing special this year, but yeah, I mean Summerhill obviously falling in this mock a little bit. He's ranked a little highly. The consensus rankings have him ranked higher than this, but I like the pick here. They pick up a talented outfielder. Something I feel like they need in their organization. Like you said, they're kind of top heavy with catchers, and then nothing else really after that. So I like that for Kansas City. 24 with Detroit, kind of sticking with the prep theme, in my opinion. Obviously, like let's think back, like Max Clark, McGonigal, Rayner last year was in the second round.
Yeah, it's been three in a row for them.
Yeah.
Um, I think they'd stick with it. I think Fiend makes sense. Daniel Pierce makes sense.
Hmm.
This is kind of low for Pierce, honestly.
Yeah, I forgot he's still on our board. Yeah.
I think go Pierce here because there's a better spot for Fiend in a couple picks, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm cool. I
yeah,
like that.
that can make sense. I think yeah, this one will go Daniel Pierce. Detroit sticking with the upside, up the middle kind of theme here that they've done
Hmm.
with their last three first round picks. I'm lower on Pierce personally, but in the mid 20s, I think any high school upside play is worth a shot. So
Yeah. I mean, they've had obviously had some success with it in recent
yeah,
years.
and they're one
Um,
of the best at identifying. So
yeah. Obviously, we were both low on Rayner last year, and that was like he's turned into a pretty solid player. I think he's out for the rest of the year this year, but he's looked very good in their system. Who was their first rounder last year?
it was Rayner.
He was their first rounder?
Yeah, at 11.
Oh, I thought he went way lower. Maybe I'm just mixing him up with McGonigal.
Yeah, McGonagall is the one that went like 36 or 34.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
He's the
I
same
yeah,
draft as Clark. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I was mixing it up. But yeah, staying with the prep for Detroit there, I like it a lot. Moving to 25.
Heavily rumored one here.
Yeah.
6'7", MLB Bloodlines, Quentin Young. I'm not like he's not really on my radar like for the White Sox just because there's been no
No
rumors
smoke
at
to
all.
it. Yeah.
But watching him at the combine, like there's a lot of juice there. He's a
Mm-hmm.
massive human being. Probably more athletic than both of his uncles. Definitely Dimitri. I mean, Delman was the number one pick and the number one
Yeah.
prospect for a long time, so they probably thought he was going to be a better athlete than he was. Maybe Quentin can be the one to put it all together, but I think worst case scenario, we know he's going to hit for power because that's just kind of what they do in that family.
Yeah.
Hopefully he
I'm
doesn't throw his bat at an umpire like his uncle Delman did, though. That would be not great. Not the best thing to happen. Maybe,
interested
yeah, I don't know. Just don't throw it at the umpire. Like break it over your leg, like Bo Jackson. I don't know.
over his head. Yeah. I'm interested to see where. uh, he's kind of. I feel like him and Nyans are very similar prospects. Like loud power, the bat, like the hit tool might be a little behind the power tool, but big arm, big dudes, like third base, corner, outfield profiles. I'm curious to see where he ends up playing because I do think he's athletic enough to play in the outfield. He's just a massive human being, but yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Young. Watching him at the combine and stuff, the bat is very loud. So I think San Diego's capable of developing his hit tool. I think if he becomes like a I don't even know 250, if he's sitting around 250 batting average, but he's hitting like he has like 40 home run potential. So very interested in where he ends up because
Yeah,
I think
like I
he could
think if
develop.
you get this guy above the Mendoza and like walking at a good rate, like he'll be
Hmm.
an elite player with
Yeah,
that kind of juice.
yeah. I mean, I think he'll end up at third. I think
It's
that's
a project, but like I think there's a clear path to like how he succeeds because the
yeah.
juice is just outrageous. Like
Hmm.
you just got to make him hit a little bit and not be a liability in the field. And
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't even think the glove is bad. I think it's like I think Pipeline gave him a 50 rated glove. So the it's just the arm. So like I could see him transitioning to a corner spot in the outfield just because of the arm, but I think I see him sitting at third most likely.
yeah,
Um
I
keep
like it.
going.
Next one though, I this is like I feel like Philadelphia has made this exact pick before. Like this is just Aiden Miller like all over
Yeah.
him. I mean, I guess Miller like is sticking at short, which I didn't really see coming out. I was like, oh yeah, he's playing third. Um, that's kind of what everybody says about Fiend, so maybe he could stick up the middle as well. But I mean, you're drafting the bat here. It's like really good power, good hit tool, good swing. I don't really care if he plays third base. Like he's in the top 8 on my board. Really big fan of Fiend. I think he's been overthought a little bit here after disappointing in the spring, but like I don't care about that shit. It's such a small sample size. Like these teams are all drafting tools anyway. I don't think letting that factor in is too smart, as we saw with Mike Sirota last year.
Yeah. Like the pick. He's a big dude. Like he's already pretty filled out as an 18-year-old, 6'3", 200. So obviously, I feel like he's even gonna fill out more. The power is gonna
Yeah,
even
I think
grow, I
that's
think.
what plays into a lot of the third base like projection is he's already like a massive human being as a teenager, so they're like, oh, he's gonna be 230 pounds and
Yeah,
won't be playing shortstop anymore. But
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. But I like the Aiden Miller comp. I think it's a very similar type of pick. Also in like a very similar spot. I feel like Miller was
Yeah,
probably
they
like,
just like stack preps at the end of the first round. It's like Philly's
yeah,
picking 25 to 28, and they're taking wherever prep comes to them.
exactly. But yeah, I like the pick. I think it makes sense for Philly. Capping off the first round with Cleveland. I think bat makes sense. I feel like they always find like random pitchers that they develop and they're fine. So I think taking a bat here, I'm in the camp of Luke Stevenson. I think the power is very good. I feel like the hit tool needs to be developed more. I think the defense is very good. So I think him and Bodine are both very good defensive catchers. So kind of 1A, 1B type of situation. Obviously, Cleveland, I feel like they haven't had a good catcher since Carlos Santana was first coming up. So, like, I think who are they running out now? Is it like Austin Hedges or something? Someone like that. But,
Bo Naylor maybe.
oh yeah, Bo Naylor too, but I think he's not catching as much. But I don't know. I like the Luke Stevenson pick here. I think he could go higher than this comes tomorrow. So yeah, I'm a fan of Luke Stevenson. I think the hit tool needs to come along more, but I think the power's there as long as they can develop the hit tool. I think Cleveland's the type of place to do that.
Yeah, like I see good power, good approach, good defense. Like this is like the kind of catcher that always goes at the end of the first round here. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And Cleveland could certainly use some depth in the system at catcher as they're kind of deep everywhere else. Like they got outfielders, they got corner guys, they got up the middle guys, got some arms, but there's not really a catcher that stands out in the system. So I think that makes sense from a need perspective here. And you don't really want to draft for need, but at 27, it's like the line between needs and best player available might be a little thinner than they'd be up higher.
I agree. So that caps off our first round mock. Uh, Obviously, gonna tune in Sunday night, see how accurate we are. But that's it for today. We're gonna be back next week. We're gonna probably recap the MLB draft, talk about some potential trade deadline trade ideas, and yeah,
Deadline
obviously,
preview, draft recap, maybe some sleepers thrown out. It's
exactly.
one of my
See,
favorite things to do.
yeah,
Yeah, should be an exciting episode next week.
yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Follow us on Twitter and TikTok. Posting a lot on TikTok recently, so
Yeah, should have a
yeah,
lot of talks coming out reacting to the draft, so be sure to
exactly.
follow there at Chicago Couch Scouts.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Tune in next time.